Hey everybody, this is Neil. Welcome back to this version of Boot Camp. And I say this version because I'm playing in vasl this time. We're going to play through the Guards Counterattack. It is 5 turns. I'm going to break it up into one video for each turn. And we're going to play through and talk about and learn about the fundamentals that I've covered in the previous 11, 12, 13 boot camp tutorials that I've done so far, specifically movement, fire mechanics, defensive fire mechanics, bypass, leadership, support weapons, that kind of thing. We're not going to get into some of the more complicated esoteric rules like concealment. A little bit of concealment here, but it pretty much goes away right at the beginning of the game. We might run into some situations of heated battle. Pretty easy to do. There'll be a lot of sniper activity in this one, I guarantee it. Sniper activation is a 6. That's only one away from the maximum of 7, so you should see a lot of sniper shots going off here. But before we actually jump into the solo play, I'll be playing both sides. Couple housekeeping things. Like I said, I'm playing on vasl just because it's going to be easier for me to do videos as I do each turn, so I don't have to leave the board and counters set up on my desk or a table somewhere over the amount of time it's going to take me to record and produce these videos. So I decided to do this in vasl. If you don't really know how to play on vasl and you want to learn, I have a whole series of videos, vasl 101, which shows you the basics from starting from how to install vasl and launch it all the way through to how to build a full scenario setup, pull counters, and actually connect to the server and get ready to play. Then in vasl 201, I show you more advanced topics that you don't really need, but it kind of adds chrome to your vasl setup, such as this information table up here. And speaking of that, if you would like to, if you know vasl and you want to use this, I'll put a link below on the page on my website where you can use a form to auto-generate these tables, and then you just paste it in a label. And there's a video that shows you how to do that. A link to a video on that page as well. And the last thing I wanted to mention is you'll see in this these videos is I'm using my own version of vasl charts that I've created and made available for everybody if you would like them. When you install the mod, all you have to do is dump the mod in your extension directory, relaunch vasl, and it should show up. It'll add this tab over on the right. It does not replace the the built-in charts that have been around forever, it seems, but it will add this tab over on the right, and it'll add another row at the bottom, which will be the custom charts that I've created that are a little more, some of them are a little more readable. They have more information on them, a little more up to date. Close combat table has um, odds ratio calculator table, I guess you'd call it. Sometimes when you get odd ratios, it's a little hard to come up with a number in your head of what the odds are going to be. All you have to do is look it up here. Attacker firepower versus defender, boom. You have an odds ratio for your close combat table. 2 hit charts, different 2 kill tables, full terrain ETO, PTO, DTO, flame and rubble creation, AFV cheat sheet, advanced sequence of play, and just an about me with the links and what version it is that you've got installed at the time. Okay, so that's just a little housekeeping before we jump into the scenario, which we're going to do right now. So I'm playing both the Russians and the Germans. I'm playing solo, just so I can have control over the activity and what's going to happen, so I can talk to it. The setup for the Germans and Russians for the guards counterattack, truly classic scenario. Anyone and everyone who's ever played ASL, actually sat down and played it, or played it on vasl, probably has played this scenario. It's the very first scenario in Squad Leader, and it's part of the first part of the program instructions of Squad Leader. So anyone who's actually sat down and attempted to play Squad Leader in the past 40 odd years has probably played at least this scenario. And it's a classic for a reason. It teaches all the basic things that I spoke about at the very beginning of this video, um, as well as it is very, very balanced. I mean, I don't know how many times this scenario has probably been played over the years, thousands, tens of thousands, I don't know. And all the recordings for the play records for this on Roar and whatnot, it's extremely balanced scenario. It's been played a lot, so it teaches all the basics you need to know to get your foot in the door, at least at an infantry level for squad leader and advanced squad leader. And you could probably adapt it for starter kit and make it work okay. Maybe someone's done that. I am not sure. So we're going to be doing Guards Counterattack. I'm playing both sides. Let's talk a little bit about the setup. They don't have a lot of options. Basically, you're given units and they have to set up in a particular building. So in cases like Ol down here, all the squad heavy and him need to go in that one building. You have no option where to place him. Then buildings like this, where we have what 12 Russian guard squads. I do have options. I can put them in upper building levels, but it's just going to make it harder for me to get them out when I move them. And they're going to be moving relatively early anyway, so I just put them all on the first level, not overstacked, 3 in each hex. But buildings like here, you have some options of where you're going to put things, upper levels, different levels spread out. So this is just my general setup. Again, it's not a lot of options. It doesn't put a lot of burden on beginning players to set things up. On a big scenario where you've got, a 2 board, 3 board front where you have to set your units up or bring all your units on, it can get a little intimidating on how you're going to bring them on or where you're going to set them up and fire lanes and cover and line of sight and approaches and defense, all that stuff. Here it's pretty simple. Just start putting the units down where you think they look good and start moving counters, and that's what we're going to do here. So this is my initial setup. Um, I think I spoke just briefly about concealment. Not a lot. There's not going to be a lot of concealment in this scenario, and I haven't spoke to concealment as a boot camp tutorial because it's generally going to be a pretty difficult one to cover in a video because it's fairly complicated. And there's a lot of situations for vehicles and infantry of when you can conceal and when you lose concealment and whatnot. So I may just go through concealment as it pops up into the game. In this scenario, there's a few units that are going to start concealed, but that's about it. All units start on the board, and there were no concealment units in the order of battle, no dummy stacks that you can deploy. So once all the units are placed on board, I think you start with the defender, and in this case, I guess the Germans are technically the defender. They go second, so I'm going to call the Germans the defenders. And you check to see if any of those German units can grow concealment. A cursory look before I started, it looks like where I have Schmidt here, no Russian can see them, so I'm going to conceal them. It'll probably be lost shortly. Um, and that's pretty much it for the Germans. I think all the other German units have a line of sight, or Russians have a line of sight to them. I don't think these Russians over here have line of sight to Schmidt. Let me check real quick. No, it just clips that face of the building there. As far as the Russian goes, I don't think anyone has line of sight to Tolstoy, who is a commissar, by the way. And I don't think anyone has line of sight to that squad from the looks of it. So they'll be start concealed. And same with, actually, I might want to change that. I was thinking about putting them in the first floor here. Yeah, let me do that. Let me change that up because I was gonna attempt a human wave just for shits and giggles. So he would not grow concealment. If he was back here, he would grow concealment. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think this squad can see him. Yeah, he would have grown concealment if you were back here. But I'm gonna put him up in the first level there of that building. Just being aware if I want to get him out. Um, Most of these big buildings, they do not have inherent stairwells. They have fixed stairwells. So the only way you can go up and down in the buildings is through this big white square. So you need to be careful in some of these big urban fights. You need to keep track of where your stairwells are because it can easily cost you a bunch of movement points to get down and out, or you can find yourself encircled in the building if enemy units get in underneath you and they block the stairwell. So just be aware of that when you're playing scenarios like this. With a lot of buildings with fixed stairwells, not inherent. This building has inherent stairwells because there's no stair symbol in it. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and oh, sniper counters. Where did I put them? Oh yeah, okay. Russian sniper counter. I put here because if you go along each hex spine, it goes to uh, Kafka here, Werner here, Schultz here, and then it gets or Ol down here, and it gets close to a hex spine or a hex row with Schmidt here. And then the Germans, I think I was actually going to move it. I think I was going to put it here. Yeah, I was going to move it to there for the same reasons. May not have an effect, but if, with a sniper activation of 6 both sides, there's going to be a lot of sniper shots. So whenever I start a scenario, I try to just cover as many hex rows as possible that capture enemy leaders. So the German sniper I would put here because it covers Tolstoy in here, Chekhov in here, and Ulanov along those hex rows. The Germans obviously have the upper hand in leaders. They have 5 leaders. Russians have 2, and one of them's a commissar, which can be good and bad. A commissar, but they have Ulanov at 10-2, which is kick ass there. Okay, let's go ahead and kick it off. Normally, you would start with, or I would start with a wind roll. A lot of people seem to skip wind rolls, at least when I'm observing, watching videos or watching on vasl. Try to get in the habit of doing it. You don't have to do it on the first player turn, because the scenario card always says no wind at start, etc. So the wind is always whatever it says at start. Most of the time it's no wind, so you don't have to roll. But in each preceding player turn, you should try to get in the habit of making a wind roll, which I'll do right now for the heck of it. Nothing. Um, because you never know when it's going to pop up. In this scenario, there's no smoke really. The Germans have a smoke exponent of 1. They might try it once or twice. I don't know. The Russians have no smoke capability. There's no support weapons that can deploy smoke, no OBA. Smoke's probably not going to come into play. There's no weapons that can start things on fire. So in this scenario, wind really isn't going to come into play. I just like to be in the habit of doing it so that when you play a scenario where there are flamethrowers or OBA blowing up woods and setting things on fire, it could possibly come into play. Or you take out a tank in a grain field and it's set to a blaze. It could light things on fire, and when the wind kicks up, it can really make things chaotic. So I try to get in the habit of doing a wind roll. Didn't need to do it on the first turn, but I just rolled it. All right. So there's nothing really to do on the rally phase. Let's go to prep fire phase. Russian prep fire. I think, like I said, I think I'm going to try to do a human wave across the street. I've played the Russian a bunch of times. I've never once attempted a human wave, but I'm going to try it now just for shits and giggles, like I mentioned before. So I'm going to try to. I'm a little worried about this. This guy could put down a one firepower fire lane, basically across the street, kind of along this hex spine here. So I'm going to take a shot with Chekhov into the bottom floor there. 4 firepower from the squad, 4 from the medium, so that's 8. If you remember your firepower basics from tutorial 3, 4, whichever it was. Plus 3 Tem for a stone building, and then -1 for Chekhov's leadership since he's directing it. So that's going to be a 8 plus 2 shot to there. Oh, we have our first sniper. And we'll come back to the sniper. You have to resolve whatever triggered the sniper. You have to resolve all those activities, and then you come back and make the sniper roll. So there's going to be a German sniper activation, possibly after we resolve this. So we rolled a 6 plus 2 is 8. So an 8 final die roll on an 8 firepower should be a morale check. 8 on an 8, always a morale check. One of the first things I learned about the infantry fire table. So we need squad needs a 7 at least. And he breaks. So Chekhov did his job. I don't need to do that if I just break them like this. Break, it'll put a DM. It always puts it at the top though. And Chekhov is prep fire. Did he get rate of fire? He did not. He missed it by 1. If he rolled a 2 on the red die, 1 or a 2, he would have got rate of fire with a medium machine gun. Okay, so that's all resolved. That firepower or that fire attack is resolved. The results are resolved. The guy broke. Now we roll we activated the German sniper with that Russian firepower attack, and let's roll to see if there was an actual activation. Need a 1 or a 2. Nope, no activation. Okay. um, let's go. I'm glad I broke that guy. Let's take the squad up in the platoon up in the upper level, level 1, and let's fire here at this guy. Either to break up the fire group or just to break him. Let's go ahead and do that. So it's going to be 18, which goes down to a 16 on the chart. And it's going to be no modifiers except for the stone building. So that's going to be a 16 plus 3 shot. 9 plus 3 is a 12 on a 16. It's probably a whole lot of nothing. Yep, we just missed by 1. But they are prep fired. They are prep fired. Let's go over to the right here. Now, technically, these 4 squads could form a fire group because they are linked. They are linked through this fixed, let me move the counters, through this fixed stairwell here, right? They have to be adjacent, meaning the terrain has to be advanceable. So this squad on the first level is linked to this squad on the first level, and then this squad on the first level is linked to the squad on the ground level through the stairwell, and then the squad on this ground level is linked to this squad on the ground level, being adjacent. So technically this chain, this U-shaped chain going down through the stairwell is linked, and they could do a fire group on something, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to fire on the bottom floor here with Kafka and the medium machine gun. So that's going to be a 16 fire group, 4 times 4 into the stone building on the bottom floor there. So 16 plus 3. 10 on a 16, that should be something. That's a morale check. Let's start with Kafka, straight morale check. He breaks, unfortunately. Unfortunately for the Germans, fortunately for the Russians. And then it was a normal morale check for the squad. They passed, but they have to take their leader broke, so they have to take a leader loss task check. And what happens is if he fails a task check, he's pinned. If this leader would have been killed for some reason, they would have had to take a leader loss morale check. And if they fail that, they would be broken instead. So in this case, it's just a task check. They would be pinned at worst. And they pass. No, 8. They have morale 7. They are pinned because they lost their leader. And then these guys are all marked prep fire. I'm not going to mark the bottom floor. Technically it should be, but we'll remember. They've all fired. I don't think I'm going to fire these guys. I might move these guys here. So I think I'm done prep firing the Russians. Let's go straight into movement here. Let's start on the right. Let's start with this concealed squad. Now I want to get him up in the action. I could bring him up through this stone building and get him into these hexes, or I can bring him up into the wood building here. I think I'm going to bring him up into the stone building. Now he's concealed. As long as he moves and he's out of line of sight, he can maintain concealment. Um, and I'm diving. I'm kind of doing a dive into concealment here. If he moves and he's within line of sight of an enemy unit, he has to use assault movement, and he can remain concealed. It looks like nothing has line of sight as long as I move him up through this stone building. So I'm going to go 2. I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't have line of sight. I'll just check it just to see. Yeah, it's blocked by the building in M4. Then he'll go 4 into there. We know what's in here anyway because we're playing solo and we can see everything. So 2-4, he'll stop there. These squads, it's best to move everything individually, but I don't think there's anything has line of sight. So I'm just going to move this as a stack, and I'm going to go 2 and 4 to there for those guys. Everything was blocked by the woods here. Any line of sight, no fire. And then over here, let's do our Russian human wave with these 9 guard units. This could either go well or end spectacularly, meaning badly. So let's go ahead and do the human wave. I like to use, instead of using the counters for the human wave, you can use, let's see, you can use these counters and put one at the beginning and end. But I mean, since we're playing on a computer, we have all these graphics and overlays. So I'm just going to use an actual arrow here. Now, when you declare a human wave, you have to pick a target and then a direction. I'm going to pick, I want to kind of get into this area with these guys. So I'm going to pick this as the target. And then you have to pick a hex grain between the closest unit as part of your human wave and the target. So this case is pretty simple. The hex grain is going to be straight down that hex row. Okay, and to declare a human wave, which is different from a bonsai is sort of a less restrictive human wave, and human waves apply to Russian and Chinese nationalities. So in order to do a human wave, you have to have a unit, at least one unit in the chain has to have line of sight to an enemy unit. You have to have 3 hexes of units, and you have to have an average of 2 units, 2 multi-man or 2 squads per hex as an average. So you have to have at least 6 units in essence across 3 hexes, right? 6 would give you, across 3 hexes would give you an average 2. In this case, we have 9 units across 3 hexes. We have a unit density of 3. So we meet the requirements for a human wave. And you have to have at least one leader in the chain. The leader does not have to have line of sight. Only one unit in the chain has to have line of sight to the target unit. And the target unit has to be the unit closest to a unit of that chain. So I could have made this the target or this the target, but I chose that one. So let's mark these with this human wave counter. And you'll notice morale level +1. So these all have morale of 9. This leader still has a morale of 10. The max morale any unit can have is 10. So Yulinov does not have morale of 11. He has a morale of 10. They have 8 movement factors. They'll easily make it across the street if they make it in 8 movement factors. They don't pin and they don't heat a battle. They're already worked up into this crazy lather by Yulinov to charge across the streets of Stalingrad. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Okay, human waves move in impulses, so all the units move as in one unison. So defensive fire cannot take place until the entire wave is done. In other words, I can't move this stack its first movement and then start firing. You have to wait until all the units of the impulse are done moving. But that's the move I'm going to go. So I'm going to go one movement factor there. These guys are going to go there for two movement factors, which means the impulse has spent two. The impulse spends the maximum number of movement factors that any unit in that impulse spends. And then these guys are going to go two as well. So these all ended up spending two movement factors, which means even though these guys are moving through open ground, they can be fired on twice because the impulse spended two movement factors because of these guys in the building. Okay. Now these guys here moved away. That was their starting point. They were right on the hex green for the human wave charge. They moved away from the center of the charge, so they get to be marked with a range counter. And what that means is the range counter keeps the human wave kind of centrally located on the human wave, either alternate hex green or hex green in this case. So in other words, in the next impulse, and I'll break this video out. I think I'll break this video out into a human wave tutorial by itself since we're doing it here. So the next human wave or next impulse of the human wave, this unit marked with a hex green range could not move to here because they're increasing their range from the center of the hex green. They would either have to go here or here. Those are their only two choices. They could not go here. Okay. These guys, this stack actually moved closer, and this stack actually moved right onto the hex grain. So these guys could move away from the hex grain next turn if they needed to or wanted to. These guys either have to keep moving straight forward or move closer, and that just keeps squads or units or stacks wandering away from the hex grain and attacking things that are outside the range of the target of the human wave. That's the point of the hex grain range reminder, to keep things kind of focused on the direction they're going. Okay, that's impulse one. Now the Germans can do some defensive fire. I would have put down a potential fire lane here across here, but that's not going to happen. In fact, they can't even fire. I think the only guys that can see, I don't think Schultz can see. I've played this enough. I don't think they can see that hex. I'll just check it. I'm almost 100% positive it hits the building. Yeah. So the only squads that can fire are these guys up in the first floor, level one, and then these two in the bottom floor. These guys are point blank. So I'm going to fire point blank onto here. Remember, these guys have a morale of 9, which is good. So that's going to be point blank is double firepower for first fire, and it's going to be 8 minus 2. Let's roll that up. 7 on an 8. Got to be a 1 MC. Yeah, 1 MC. Let's mark these guys first fire. These leaves residual fire. Residual fire is half of the firepower attack, so it was 8 firepower. So it leaves 4 residual fire. I don't think anything's going to move through there anyway, but I'll put it down. And I didn't cover residual fire, but that's at its highest level. There it is. It's half, unless you happen to cower. It's half of your firepower left in that hex. Anyone else moves into that hex, they get attacked by that firepower. It was a 1 MC, right? So they have 9 morale. Ideally, I'd like a 7 because I don't want them to pin. So 1 MC. 12, they didn't ELR, but they broke. Top squad, they broke. 1 MC 10, yeah, they broke and they passed. So 2 broke, not ideal. Okay. I could subsequent first fire these guys because they spent 2. Um, and these guys are going to move in to there if they survive. If there's any survivors, they're going to move in their next impulse. I think I will subsequent first fire. Now it's halved for subsequent first fire and then doubled for point blank. So we're back up to 4. So it's going to be a 4 minus 2 on there. That's a pin check. 7 and a 4. Yeah. Broken squads are immune to pin, so the bottom squad pin check. He passed. These guys are final fired. And then I think I'm going to take a I'm going to wait for this guy. I'm going to wait till they get closer. But I'm going to take a shot with the squad up here on the first level. They're going to fire over here at Ulanov. This will be a 4 minus 2. 6 on a 6 on a 4. Morale check. Ulanov has morale 10. Man, oh boy. He broke. Straight morale check 3 times. That would normally be a heat of battle, but human wave units are immune to heat of battle. But that would have been interesting. They probably would have just gone berserk and charged anyway. Next squad, straight morale check. Wow. They didn't ELR, but they broke. Then the bottom squad. Oof. Yep, this is the disaster part. And that's first fired up there. Get on there. I think, yeah, I'm gonna wait on these guys. I could subsequent on these guys. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Subsequent half firepower. I'm gonna go 2 minus 2. They cowered. No leader direction. So it's gonna be a 2 on a 1. Still pretty good. 1 MC. Uh, they're okay. Mm, no, they have they have around 9. Maybe not. No, when they as soon as they break, they're not part of the human wave anymore, so they lose that bonus morale factor. So that was one. Yeah, these guys casualty reduced. They broke again. Then the bottom squad, I think I was on, they passed. Yeah, 8. Yeah, morale 9. They passed. Their final fire. Their final fire. That was that impulse. So these guys are gonna wait. So let's go to second impulse. Yeah, second impulse. That was the first impulse. These guys are going to go into here. I'll get rid of the range counter since they're done moving. As soon as a human wave or bonsai unit enters an enemy hex, they're done basically. So I'll remove the range unit. Um, these guys will go to there. What do I have here? Oh, just that one squad. Guess they'll go. I wish I had Yulin. Go there for 2. So this impulse has spent 2 movement factors. That's done. So let's do defensive fire. These guys, the units they have to use final protective fire. Well, they have to fire on any unit. A unit has to fire on any enemy unit that enters its hex or infantry unit with whatever current defensive fire phase they're at. These guys would be at final protective fire. So they're going to fire, and the die roll is going to act as a morale check because he has to use final protective fire, which might be okay. He could break and he could ride out, but it's going to be triple point blank. So it's going to be 3 divided by 2, so it's going to be 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Stone building plus 3, non-assault movement minus 1. So it's going to be a 6 plus 2 on that guard squad charging into their hex. That's nothing. And they failed the morale check. Morale is 7. They rolled an 8. So they broke in the process of doing their final protective fire. Just get rid of that counter. They're broke. Okay, now here I'm going to do my first fire here now that they're adjacent. It's going to be an 8 minus 2. 5 on an 8 is probably a 2. A 2 MC. They have morale of 9. Passed. Wow, passed. Passed. Normally that would have been a pin. Human wave units do not pin. I rolled a 9, which is equal to their boosted morale. So they passed everything. I could fire again. Their first fire, I could do a 4 minus 2. Or I could wait till the next phase and fire. But if I do, they're going to get protection from the building. And it would be, yeah, I think I'll subsequent since I spent 2 there. I think I'll go 4 minus 2. Try to keep out as many as I can. Russian sniper activation. So we got a 4 and a 4 and a 4. 1 MC. Morale of 9 3 times. Phew. That's not ELR because they have morale of 9. Plus 1's 12, but they broke. Plus 1 morale check again. Passed. Plus 1 again. Passed. No pinning. So we got 1 broken squad there, guard squad, and a sniper activation for the Russians when the Germans did their subsequent first fire. Let's roll that up. Sniper activation, nothing for the Russians. And then here I could choose to fire. Or I could stay hidden, which would complicate close combat if the Russians went in there, but he probably wouldn't go in there now. But if I fired, I'd reveal myself, and then he might go in there. He would have 1-to-1 odds. Hmm. Yeah, I'll fire. What the hell? What the hey? Point blank. They're moving, so it's going to be a 14, 7, double to 14, down to 12 on the table. Plus 3 building, minus 1 leader, minus 1 non-assault movement. So 12 plus 1 on these guys. Machine gun got rate of fire. Red die is a 1, rate of fire number is 1. So was a 6 on a 12. 2 MC on this squad. Got a morale of 9 though. He broke. Just missed it. Okay. Well, I might as well subsequent first fire then. Except I am not going to fire the machine gun. But if I choose not to during subsequent first fire, I forfeit being able to fire it. Sorry, I got rate of fire. I can keep firing at this point. So just the squad is marked first fire technically. But I'll fire again. So the squad's going to be half for subsequent, but doubled again, so it's 4. But the machine gun is still double because it has rate of fire. So it's going to be a 6 to 10, down to 8. 8 plus 1. Oop, let me get rid of that. They're no longer part of the human wave. 8 plus 1. Probably another 1 MC, 6 on an 8. Yep. They no longer have boosted morale. They broke. Casualty reduced. Broke again. Did not get rate of fire, but there's nothing else to fire at. So I'm just going to mark these guys. Final fired. And machine gun did not get rate of fire. Anyway, so nothing to shoot at. Yeah, I'll just mark them final fired. Nothing else to fire. Final fire. Everything's final fired. Those guys are broken. Final fired. So we're on to impulse 3, I think. They're broken. Now these guys here, they could move into here, or one of them could, but they don't have to. There's already a Russian unit in with the Germans, so they could choose to ignore that as part of their human wave. Those guys are broke, so I guess they'll just go. They're adjacent to these guys. Why can't I pick this? They're adjacent to these guys, so they have to go into either this hex or this hex as part of the human wave. This guy's already broken, this German squad, so I'm just gonna not ignore that, and they're just gonna go directly into there, which was my plan all along. I just wish this flank human wave would have survived better. Now, just like in this case, even though they're marked final fire, they can still final protective fire, and they're required to, just like over here. And their fire will attack as a, or act as a morale check. So triple point blank fire, triple four is 12. It's subsequent first fire. Final protective fire is a form of subsequent. So it's down in half again. So it's up to 12, then down to 6, plus 3 stone building and minus 1 non-assault. So 6 plus 2 on the Russians charging in the building. That's a nothing. And they pinned. The die roll acts as a morale check and everything that entails. So they rolled the morale, so those guys are pinned. Now, technically, you can final protective fire as many times as movement factors expended as they run into your hex. So I could fire again, and I actually might, just because the odds are going to be 3 to 1. Not even that, because yeah, 3 to 1. I'm pinned. I might want to break and just get out of there. Russians are going to have to route first. This guy will have to route back, and then if I break, I could just route in with Schmidt there. So I think I'm going to final protective fire a second time. This time it's going to be basically point blank fire, then halves twice because I'm pinned. So 12, down to 6, down to 3. It's going to be a 2 plus 2. And I'm okay if I break, actually. 2 plus 2. Oh, I did not break. Okay. I did cower, though. So it's a 1, 4, and a 1. I got a morale check out of that? Wow. Okay. Another interesting thing just happened. Since final protective fire, the fire attack die roll acts as your morale check. These guys just heat a battled as well. So let me do the morale checks on these Russian squads. What was that? It was a normal morale check, 4 on a 1. Yeah. Morale of 9. Broke. Okay. One of them broke. Bizarre things are happening. They pass a morale check, but they heat a battle. So heat a battle is, I'll throw the chart up here real quick. It's not in my built-in charts yet. I may add it. It's just a small chart. Whenever you roll Snake Eyes during a original 2 morale check or rally, you roll on the heat of battle table. And the things that can happen are hero creation, battle hardening, berserk, or surrender. Depending on the scenario, surrender may turn into berserk and that kind of thing. In this case, there's no modifiers. They're not elite. Those Germans are not elite, are they? No. First line. So there's no modifiers. So you just roll 2 dice and consult the table. Let's see what we get. 9. They go berserk. These Germans go berserk. Heat of battle, berserk. Interesting. Okay. Uh, not gonna fire. I think my impulses are. I got Russians got shredded pretty well. They made it across with 2 squads out of. Well, that guy's gonna have to route. They made it across, well, into German enemy hexes with 2 out of 9. Right? Yeah, I charge a 9 across the street. That's it for movement. So no more first fire. Let's go to defensive fire. Final fire. Let's go. Let's start with. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of the residual. Let's start with Schultz. I could. Well, they're not in melee. Technically, I could actually fire Schultz into some of these hexes where the Russians are without impacting the German units. If there's a melee counter on these, then I would actually be firing on both of my units. So um, I might fire. I could fire him, Schultz, up here, or I could fire into try to hold on to this building. If I could break one of these guys, that'd be great. I think I'll fire here. Now I'm gonna fire here. So they're not in melee until after if close combat has gone through and they're still locked in close combat, then it switches to a melee, and they're considered to be in close proximity, so it's hard to separate when you're firing. But right now, I can fire into this hex and not affect my German squad in there. So let's go ahead and fire. Let's just fire everything. What the hell? It's going to be 12, 20, no, 18 down to a 16. No one's moving anymore. I could have, maybe I should have first fired on it. Too late now. No one's moving, so it's going to be a 16 plus 3, stone building minus 2, Schultz, so 16 plus 1, 9 on a 16, 1 MC on this guy, this Russian. He passed, but we got a Russian sniper, and we didn't get rate on either of the 2 machine guns. So let's do the Russian sniper. No activation. These guys fired. Let's fire the squad and light machine gun over to here. It's going to be 7 down to 6 plus 3, stone building, 6 plus 3. Another Russian sniper, possibly. That's no effect. Let's roll for the sniper. Oh, we got a 2. That's an activation. Russian sniper is here. Let's roll for direction and distance. 4, 6. It's going to go off the board. And it's going to snap to Ul. Looks like. Yeah, they're going to be the closest. Random selection. There are 2 units in there, so let's roll for random selection. Looks like it's going to be the squad, and the squad gets pinned with a 2 result on a sniper attack. If it would have been a 1 result and that squad ended up getting targeting, he would have been broken, but he's just pinned. Okay, defense fire. I just fired that guy. He's pinned. Let's fire Ul up here on the bottom floor. Squad is pinned, so that's 2 plus 7 is 9. It's going to be an 8 plus 3 minus 1 for the leader. So 8 plus 2. Another Russian sniper. What did I say? 8 plus 2. 8 on an 8. It's a morale check. No rate of fire on the machine gun. It's got to resolve the morale check first. Passed. Russian sniper activation. That was a German fire attack. Nothing. Let's come over here. Let's fire. Uh, hmm. If I just fire that top squad, that'd be 4 plus 3. That's not getting. Let's do a fire group. Medium squad in the lower ground level, and then the squad in the upper level. So the squad in the medium, they're pinned, so it's going to be 9.5. It's going to be 4.5 plus 4 from the squad level 1. It's going to be an 8 plus 3. I think the leader's broken. Yeah, 8 plus 3 on the ground level here. Another Russian sniper activation. Machine gun got rate of fire. 9 on an 8. I think it's that. It's a pin check for this squad. They're pinned. These guys are fine. I'll just mark the top floor, but the machine gun is not. So it can fire again. But before I do that, let me resolve the sniper roll. Nope, no activation. I'll fire the machine gun again, but it's going to be half firepower, so it's only going to be 2. 2 plus 3. I'll fire on the ground floor over here. 2 plus 3. Didn't get rate of fire. Nothing. They're final fire now. And then I'll fire this guy at the ground floor here. It's going to be 6 firepower plus 3 for the stone. Another Russian sniper. No result. Sniper activation. Ooh. Okay. Let's roll for resolution. Now, I could make the choice, because I did get a sniper activation, I can roll for, direction and extent like normal, or I can make the choice of not rolling and repositioning my sniper counter. But a 1 result is pretty tasty. I've got 3 leaders in the proximity, 4 leaders actually. So I'm going to actually roll to see what happens. Direction and extent. 2, 5. Direction 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. I get to choose, same tem, yep, plus 3. I'm going to choose it to snap back to here. See if I can get lucky enough to take out Sergeant Ol. Random selection, just like before. Nope, it's going to be the squad. Yep, broke the squad this time. Snipers honed in on that squad, I guess. Was hoping to get knockout Ul. I think that's it for Final Fire. I fired everything. My human wave was a disaster. Advancing fire. Get rid of defensive fire. Yeah, these are all broken. Now, human wave squads can advancing fire. So this guy's broke there. So I'm gonna do a fire group here. That's triple point blank, but it's advancing fire, so that's going to be 18 divided by 2. That's going to be 9. And this is going to be point blank divided by 2, 12. Oh, these guys have assault fire as well, so let me figure that out. Math is going to be complicated. So the way assault fire works is you do all of your calculations for any modifiers, and then you add 1, and then you round any fractions up. So let's figure that out. Refigure it, since both of these squads have assault fire. So this is triple point blank, but half for advancing fire. So it's going to be, what did I say? 18 divided by 2 is 9. Add 1 is 10. Okay, so this guy has 10 firepower. Then this guy here is point blank advancing fire. So it's 12 divided by 2 is 6, plus 1 for assault fire 7. So they have 17 firepower combined firing on this Berserk squad. So it's going to be 17 plus 3. 10 and a 16, sorry, 16. 10 and a 16 morale check for the Berserk squad. 8. And he is good because Berserk squads have a morale of 10. Normally there's a counter you can put on here. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah. Berserk squads have a morale of 10, so he passed. I'm not going to mark him with an advancing fire because that's all I can really fire for advancing fire. It's too bad I couldn't have broken that Berserk squad, but Berserk guys do not break easily. I'll just leave that on the side there. Route. Russian turn. Russians have to route first. We have a lot of routing to do, and potentially a lot of interdiction. So let's just start here. Their target closest woods or building is going to be, well, they have choices here, but I think I'm going to go, let me see, I might want to go, I think they'll go 2. I wanted to go here, but I can't because I started here. That's 4 hexes to there. If I went to here, that would be reducing the number of hexes to a previously known enemy unit. I had them in my line of sight when I started here. And I'm assuming I'm going into the bottom floor. I just don't want to move it. So I started here. The range is 4 to here. If I move back to here, I'd be decreasing range to a unit I had sight to beforehand. So I couldn't do that. I also couldn't go here. That's reducing, the range would be 3 to here. So I have to go here and stop, or I could go here and stop, basically. So let's go into the ground floor here. These guys got 2. Don't want to overstack, but I want to get as many guys as in with that 10 minus 2 leader as I can. Let me do these one at a time. I'll go 2, 4 in with that leader under DM. These guys will go, they'll go 2, 4. These guys, 1, 2, range of 3. Still a range of 3. They'll go back with those units. 2, 4. Get rid of that. Now these guys, let's see. They can't be interdicted by either of these. These guys are broken. These guys are wrapped up in. They have units in their hex. They cannot. They cannot shoot outside their hex essentially, or interdict anything as well. I can't go there. Well, I could. They'd be interdicted. They'd be interdicted here by these units. So I essentially have to either run for it back to probably here, or get interdicted. I think I'm just going to low crawl to there. Now these guys have to route out, obviously, and no, those guys are broken. Okay, so these guys are going to low crawl to there. Okay, I had to look up something real quick. Berserk units do not take prisoners, and this unit is broke. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong again down below, I believe I can low crawl to here without the berserk guy either taking me prisoner, which he can't, or no quartering me. And then I think I can route next to this isn't broken units are considered unarmed, I believe. No, the wording is unbroken and armed. Yeah, so this is a broken unit. So I think I can low crawl here. Um, well, these guys can't interdict. They're occupied, but they can't take prisoners as well. These guys get interdict. So yeah, I think I'm good low crawling to there. If I'm wrong, down below, yeah, please correct me. That's it for routing of the Russians. Germans, let's see, do they have anything? Yeah, let me just keep that marker there. That's a little handy. Um, if you're not aware, you can hit this turn on, off, highlighting of broken units and weapons. You can see everything on the board if they're in a stack, if they're broken and or need to be routed or repaired. Um, these guys, they're in the same building. I'm just going to route back to Werner. It's a range of 2 still. They're good. This leader, I think I'm going to get him out of the action for now. He'll just stay broken the whole time. Probably just go back to here. Oh, yeah, they'll stay there, I guess. Stay in that stone building. That's it for German route. Advance phase, Russian advance phase. Let's advance this guy. And they will not lose concealment because they're advancing in concealment terrain, so they're technically still concealed. And let's do something like this. Get a fire group kind of going here. I'm gonna leave Chekhov there. These guys that are in the upper level, they're gonna advance over to the to the stairwell level, I think. Like that. Get them ready for next turn. Those are all broken. They should be in close combat, or they will be in close combat. Human wave's done, so let me get rid of those. Oh, they're not in close combat. Oh, here, back. Okay, let's go back to route. I didn't see this guy. He's got a route. Now in this case, this German squad is eliminated. His target would probably be, let's see, one of these 2 buildings, but the only way to get there is to roll low crawl adjacent to a unbroken armed enemy unit. Therefore, I can either take them prisoner or no quarter them, and I shall no quarter them. I guess they might have been able to go over there, but either way, actually they couldn't even go there. They'd be moving adjacent to them. They'd have to go to here or to here, but the only way they could do that is by low crawling. So no quarter, which is fine. Let me flip this to Allied. There's no prisoners in Stalingrad anyway. In the Guards Counterattack, it's all blood and guts. Okay. Advance phase. Did I advance everyone that I could? I think I'll leave Chekhov there for now. Close combat. No close combat there. Our human wave petered out. I just got 2 guard squads in there, so we have close combat here. Now these guys here are pinned, so they attack at half firepower but defend at full firepower. And my Russian guard squad should be marked lax. Do I have a lax on my bar? Oh, it's got to be under here somewhere. There it is. Lax is a ambush modifier. This makes it harder for me to ambush, which makes sense. Human wave or bonsai charge, you've got guys usually screaming towards you. It's going to be make it that much harder to get an ambush in an ambush situation. So let's do ambush. We're in a building or woods or building, so ambush is possible. Um, Pinned. Is there an ambush modifier for pinned? Let's see. Ambush modifiers down here. So there's lax +1. I think pinned. Oh, there it is right there, +1. So we both have a +1. The German squad is pinned, and my wait a minute, wait a minute. They're berserk though. They are not pinned. Berserk units are immune to pin. So we're both at a +1. He's berserk. I'm pseudo berserk because I'm human waving, so it's going to be an even. Let's do Russians first. Uh-oh, Germans. Germans ambush me. They're at 4-3, which is 4-6. I can do math, which is 1-2, and they're not pinned. Sorry, I'm looking at the ambush chart. I'm lax. That's only during ambush. Should need a 4. So we need a 4, but we have a -1 to the ambush roll because we ambushed. And then the Russians will have a +1 because they were ambushed. So versus by ambush, -1 for the by the ambusher, +1 versus the ambush, or when the ambusher rolls, or ambushed rolls. So let's roll for the. I'll roll for the Germans first, obviously since they got the ambush. No result. And then the Russians are at 6-2. Sorry, 6-4, which is a 3-2. I need a 6, but I have a +1 because I was ambushed. And what is it? 6? Did they do it? Yeah, 5. Nice roll. Took out the berserk unit. Get rid of the lax, get rid of the close combat. So that's it for close combat. So we're on go to German. That was a long turn. A lot going on though. The results of the thinking back now that I'm through this human wave, the results, I think if I would have gone about it traditionally, just traditional fire and move based on playing this before, the first turn I obviously would have had far fewer losses and breaks, but I would not be in the building yet. You usually don't get into this building until Russian turn 2 for the most part. So was this a successful human wave? I don't know. I'll let you know when the game is over here in a while, but we're dragging on. I'm gonna try to speed things up here. Instead of going through all the modifiers, by saying, 4 firepower plus 4 is 8, modifier here, modifier. I'm just gonna do it like I normally do, and you guys will see when I'm hovering what terrain and what fire is going on, and maybe hopefully you can follow along, and hopefully that will speed things up. Let me remove the move counters and let's start German turn 1 and see what they can do. Let me remove this arrow here, human wave arrow, before we continue on with the German rally phase. Let's do wind. Nothing. That does not count for sniper. A wind roll does not count for sniper attack or sniper check. Let's highlight units to see German rally. No broken weapons. Let's start with no self rally other than this leader. No squads that can self rally. So let's just start with start at the top here. Got the squad and rally terrain. No leadership modifier, so it's a +3 total. Need a 4. Casualty reduction on that. And obviously, he does not rally. I'll get rid of the DM though. Let's go to this leader here. Self rally attempt in rally terrain. Cancel each other. +1, -1. 4 +4. He needs a 4. Nope. And the squad here with Ul. -1 terrain, -1 leader, +4, so +2 total, needs a 5. Ooh, almost. Wow, no rallies for the Germans. Oh, let me get rid of pin counters. Forgot about that. Okay. Let's do the Russians. They have no self-rally opportunities other than their leaders or crews if they had some. So these guys out here, DM stays on them. They're in open ground in line of sight of these guys. So DM stays on them. These guys back here can't rally, no leader. I'll remove DM. So let's start with Ulanov. Rally terrain -1, +4, +3 total. Needs a 7 to self rally. Oh, sorry. Self rally and terrain cancel, so it's a +4. I need a 6. Yikes. Then there's other squads. They're in rally terrain. They cannot rally at all. That's a bummer. I should be able to get them up next turn. Doesn't look like any of the Germans will be able to bring any fire to bear on them. So they'll probably be up and about next turn. German prep fire. Well, Schmidt runs for it. He's gonna, well, he could do, these guys have a really bad range of 2. Even if he did an end run here and bailed out, he'd still get hit with 6 -2 probably. He could probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or here and then advance in or something. Or to here and advance into the wood building to cover the road. So I don't know. I'll save him for last. Let's see what Schultz can do. Let's see what we can do up here first. There's a lot of firepower to bear. I think I shot at the wood building here. Let's go 6 +2. Nothing burger. I could skulk, but I am not going to. Broken, can't fire the heavy, unfortunate. Let's do another fire group here. Let's fire group everything here. They're linked, just like I mentioned over here. Ground floor is linked to this ground floor, and first level is linked to ground floor through the stairwell here. So we're going to do a full fire group. We've got 9, 13, 16, 20. 9, 13, 16, 20. Plus on the bottom floor, +3. It's going to be 20 for the unconcealed squad, 8 on the concealed squad. +3. Ah, boy. 20. That's nothing. Nothing for either of them. Didn't even strip concealment. You know, I should have advanced some of these guys into the street. Let's see how that went. can't fire. These guys, 4+3. Well, if I fired Schmidt on there, that would give me a 12+2. Hmm. Yeah, I'll do it. Fire on here, 12+2, point blank. I knew I was bound to get a decent roll. And the light machine gun got rate of fire. So 5 on a 12, 2 MC, it's an 11, broke, just missed ELR. Um, yeah, I'll fire the machine gun again. It's mainly because it's point blank fire. If I didn't have point blank, I probably wouldn't fire. So just firing the machine gun because it's not first fired, or sorry, it's not prep fired. It's going to be a 6+2. Nope, nothing, no rate. Okay, that makes me feel better that I broke these Russians. Now I think Schultz is going to take a shot up here. Yeah, full blown shot. I forget what that came out to be. That's 12, 18, 16 plus 1 up to here. Got a lot of firepower. 8 out of 16. Excuse me, 1 MC. No rate of fire on the machine guns. 1 MC on Chekhov. Passed. Even on the squad. +1, -1. Passed. Bummer. Bummer. Well, don't want to fire this guy or move him. Where would I move him? I need to keep some coverage on the road here. I think I'm going to move him. Try to get him down here to cover this crossing because I think this building, after coming next turn, is probably lost. So I'm going to move to movement phase. I'm going to move this unit. They're going to go down the stairs. Am I in a stair hex? No, I am not in a stair hex. Back that up. I think the stair hex is... Yeah, the stair hex is there. Okay. I can go this way. So they'll go stay on level 1 to go over here for 2. And then go down the stairwell for 1 more for 3. Keep this on the board. Tempted to take a shot here. That'd be a 6+2, or I could do 6+3 in final fire. I think I'll do that instead. Let that guy move. Yeah, nothing else to fire. That's it for movement. Defensive fire. Yeah, let's start. Let's start here. I think earlier I made a mistake. This guy, there was a broken. This guy was here broken, and he low crawled to there. I actually think he should have surrendered. If I did it wrong earlier in the video, you should have seen a note I inserted. So hopefully you saw that. I think that this guy should have surrendered, and I would have invoked no quarter and just nuked him. So you may see this guy deleted in turn 2. I may clean that up and delete this guy if I got that right. Yeah, I'm gonna fire 6+3. Morale check? Nope. Pin check. 8 on a 6. Pin check. Yeah, it's not gonna do nothing. Maybe get some sniper activity. Leader, pass 3 squads. 1, 2, 3. Top 2 are pinned. This guy, oh, he might be able to make it now because he won't have to low crawl. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's route phase. Defense fire. Let's fire Chekhov all the way down here. Give me an 8 plus 2. Ooh, did I get, no, didn't get rate. 6 on an 8. Probably 1 MC. Yep. Schultz. Pinned him. We move him under the pin counter, which means cannot use his modifier now. It was a 1 MC. So first squad, passed. 2 other squads. Wow, passed. Wow. Some killer rolls. That was a good result too. Bummed. Over here. Like to take out that medium. So I could maybe start easing across the road. Let's see, how many squads do I have here that I could link up? I don't think these guys can see him. I got 5. I'm going to fire this guy so he loses concealment. Oop. Delete that. I'm going to form a fire group, this U-shaped fire group going down through the stairwell. 5 squads on the bottom floor, 20 plus 3. And as I'm processing this video, I'll try to fix any errors that I may have seen and put notes up. 20 plus 3 on the bottom floor there. 8 on a 20. 2 MC. This could do it. Yes. Broke the medium machine gun squad, and that's a German sniper check. Nope. Let's go over here to a fire group into there. It's going to be a 12 plus 3. Another German sniper. 9 on a 12. Morale check. These guys. And they are pinned. Man, I've seen a lot of pinning this scenario. And we're only on turn 1. What was that? That was a German sniper? Nope. Those guys fired. Final fired. These guys upstairs cannot see anything. Yeah, that's it for final fire. Advancing fire. All they moved was this squad. That would be a 2 plus 3. Smells like Russian sniper bait, but I'll do it just because. Nope, no sniper. That's it. Route. Get rid of this stuff. German route first. Well, let's get these guys back. They can take the medium with them. It's 3 portage. Let me move the leader up top. He is not DM. Any other broken Germans? That guy's still... Oh, I should have put DM on those. Damn. That was dumb. Should have taken one of these squads here and put DM on them. I forgot that guy was broken down there. That's it for German route. Russian route. I don't want to go overstacked. I have choices. I'm just going to go. I can go to any of these hexes as my target. I'm going to go here. These guys are targets there. Boy, I'm getting piled up. I guess they'll go here and go back here. These guys, this, that might be blocked, this line of sight. He might not surrender. Yeah, that looks blocked. Boy. Guess his target would be there. He'll go one. Check it. Yeah, it's blocked. So if these guys were here, for example, um, he would surrender to there, and I would invoke no quarter again, because the only way I'm adjacent, and the only way to route away is to either be low crawled or being interdicted while doing so, and I'd be interdicted. Target is here. I would have been interdicted here, but because I moved this squad on the top floor over and down the stairwell, I didn't even notice that. I should have probably left them there. I'm out of line of sight, so I can just run across the street. He can get out of being surrendering to these guys here. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and I'll stop there. I'm getting piled up. Too many Russian casualties. That's it for route. German advance. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I have it. Well, let's see. Just so I can still form a fire group, I'm gonna advance this guy downstairs. Pretty sure there's a stairwell there yet. Let me just move this over here. No, I'm gonna leave that guy there. Well, this is interesting because if I don't cover this guy, these guys are gonna rally. Sure, most assuredly, they're gonna come across the road. I don't have any coverage on the roads now, so maybe I should advance them up there or here, but then I'd be under 12 plus 3 attack, prep fire, and then he could come across. If I went there, he'd probably be forced to fire at me first before moving, and he'd get a who knows what +1. I think I'm gonna take the risk and go there, try to cover the road, see what happens. The rest of these guys, actually, I'm gonna advance this guy back over on the ground floor. Unfortunately, I can't take this guy's light machine gun, even if I wanted to. The only a leader can wrest support weapons from a broken unit. Hopefully he'll rally. I think that's it for these pin guys. I can't do anything with. They can't advance. That's it for advance. No close combat. And that is the end of full turn 1 for the Guards Counterattack. We get rid of the pin counters, clean this up, so we'll be ready for the next full turn. I think I think I went okay, other than my human wave. Yeah, they got chewed up really bad, but I did get one guard unit into this building. I actually control that hex. I don't control the building yet, but I control the hex for now. I could easily change. Why did it put a break counter on there? Why did it break those guys? Oh, I had them selected too. And I flipped that. Russian. I control the hex, not even close to controlling the the building. I didn't control this hex. I think I might have controlled it. I'll have to look back. I did control this one, then I lost it when Schmidt went back in there. I'm more concerned with, I'll mark it when I control the actual building. But overall, I think the Russians did okay, other than my human wave. I broke some units here. These guys are broke. I broke the squad upstairs, or no, downstairs here. He's back here. If I can get some rallies here, um, I might be able to get some more across the street. I'm going to try to edge across the street here because I knocked that medium machine gun back, which could have put a fire lane down here. So it's looking pretty good so far for both sides. Hard to say which way it's going to go. We're still early on. So next time, we got the human wave craziness behind us. That ate up some time going through that. Probably break that out into a separate video detailing human waves, and I'll add some notes to it and whatnot. So next time, boot camp number whatever, I'm losing track at this point. I may actually put another boot camp in between this turn 1 and turn 2, but I'm going to continue this full playthrough so you guys can follow along and see the actual mechanics that I've introduced in all my boot camps actually being used in play. And as usual, please let me know if I screw something up down below. I will try to scrub the video and put notes in where I missed something or did something a little off or wrong. So thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.